Hi, Jerry Jenkins here talking about all things writing. Today, how you can maintain the inspiration you need to keep writing your novel all the way to the end. Finishing a novel should be thrilling. In fact, it is. Take it from someone who's done it 140 times. Believe me, the feeling of accomplishment never gets old. And hear me, I'm not talking about finishing a successful or even a best-selling novel. I'm talking about simply finishing a novel. You may picture a novelist as some sort of a wizard, magically cranking out page after page, awash with inspiration. Dream on. The actual writing done well is anything but magical, and it's never easy. In fact, I find it grueling, and I've been doing it for half a century. I feel blessed, even humbled, to call myself a novelist, but can I say I love the process? I can't. Oh, I love being a writer, love proving I can do it, love being known for it, love everything it's brought me. But do I love the writing itself? No. In fact, I often dread it, hate it, put it off, compare it to marathon running. Not that I've ever attempted that. But ask a marathoner at the 20-mile mark if they don't just love running, and you're not likely to get the response you expect. Like me, they love training, getting better, and being recognized for what they do. They enjoy knowing they can accomplish something unique, but do they love the grueling nature of the activity itself? I don't know about marathon runners, but I don't enjoy the hard work of writing itself. What I really love is having written. So don't feel alone if some days you're frustrated because you can't seem to produce a single word, or even fear your dream to be a writer may never come true. I know what you're going through. It's not uncommon for me to roll out of bed wishing to do anything but write. So how do I get unstuck? By reminding myself why I wanted to be a novelist in the first place. My inspiration must come from my own passions, my own worldview. You don't have to quit, and if you already have, it's not too late to begin again. What many call writer's block is likely really writer's fear. Fear you're not good enough. Fear you don't know enough. Fear that no one will read what you write or like it if they do. That fear can make you want to quit. Perhaps you're blocked by perfectionism, a common malady among us creatives. Or you might just be plagued with too many distractions. So today I want to cover the best ways I know to reignite your inspiration. Let me start with 5 tips. 5 tips for maintaining your inspiration. If you struggle with writer's fear, and I've never met an author, successful or not, who hasn't, it could be that the mere idea of producing a massive manuscript overwhelms you. It should. It's a monumental task. Where do you even start? Well, how do you build a city, one brick at a time? Or to stay with the marathon metaphor, how do you run 26.2 miles, one stride at a time? Similarly, don't view your manuscript as the 300 to 400 page colossus it will become. Approach it one small element at a time. Words, sentences, paragraphs, pages, and chapters. Most importantly, remember, you shouldn't tackle a novel just because you want to be a writer. Write because you have something burning inside you that needs to be written. Write from your passions. Wanting to be a writer just for the sake of being a writer isn't going to cut it. If you sit at a blank screen or over an empty page wondering what to write, you're going about this all wrong. Yes, learning how to write and knowing what to write is challenging, but until you have an idea what you want to communicate, you're not yet a writer. If you write a story based on something about which you're passionate, that'll mean more than simply entertaining readers with a page-turning tale. What's the point of your story? What's its message, its theme? What do you want readers to take away from your novel? It must be more than simply about something. It must be for the purpose of something. Your theme need not be cosmic in nature. For one of my novels, Though None Go With Me, which was eventually made into a Hallmark Hall of Fame movie starring Cheryl Ladd, I merely wanted to consider whether there's any payoff this side of heaven for a life of complete devotion to God. Of course, being a person of faith, I hoped my story would support the idea that such a life is worth pursuing, regardless whether it's rewarded in this life or only in the next. My story shows a character getting a glimpse of her effect on others, so it enjoys a happy ending. But knowing my theme, my aim, helped me decide on my characters, my setting, and everything else that contributed to the story. Your theme can be as simple as good overcomes evil, or even love conquers all. Knowing what you want to say will be easier once you've settled on why you want to say it. In short, don't just write to write. Write because you have something to say. Next, create a strong protagonist. As you probably know, protagonist is merely a fancy word for hero or lead character or main character. Such characters drive stories. Yours can be an ordinary person thrust into a dire situation, or they can be someone extraordinary called upon to solve a unique problem because of their skill sets. Primarily, they need to feel like a real person who reacts to conflict in relatable, human ways. Even superheroes, to remain relatable, must exhibit both flaws and strengths. Your protagonists should exhibit weaknesses, but their character arc should also be such that through the conflict, they develop the strength and the tools to become heroic in the end. What are their goals? What stands in the way of those goals? And what do they do about it? For my novel about full devotion to God, I invented a woman who vows to make her life an experiment in obedience to Him. She had to be strong to deal with the inevitable opposition to that vow, which leads to tip 3, being sure to inject conflict. Conflict should emerge from your theme, and it's what will keep readers turning the pages. What constitutes the best conflict for your story? For my novel about the woman and her vow, she becomes a female Job, losing nearly everything precious to her. Conflict includes, but needs not to be limited to just war, betrayal, conspiracy, or violence. A foreboding undercurrent of danger, mistrust, deceit, etc., can be the very definition of conflict. While external conflict can serve as the backbone of your novel, internal conflict is just as important, if not more so. How does all this conflict make your character feel and act, and how might they grow from all this? Once you've determined that, it's time to establish your setting. In other words, where does your story take place? Louis Sachar says that before he wrote Holes, he came up with Camp Green Lake, which may sound nice, but actually comprises a desert wasteland overrun with poisonous lizards. Settling on your fictional world should be fun and keep your creative juices flowing. Ask yourself, is your world based on a real place, or is it entirely fictional? How long has your world existed? What did your story world look like in the past, and what caused the change? How much of your world must you reveal to support the story? How does the terrain play into your story? What role does the weather play? Finally, it's time to mine your own life for ideas. John Green wrote The Fault in Our Stars after a teen cancer victim shared her experience online. Ernest Hemingway based A Farewell to Arms on his experiences in World War I. Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird was inspired by her childhood in Alabama with her older brother and their lawyer father. What from your own life can inspire your writing? Write what inspires you. So, what moves you? Keep a record of what gives you pause. Was it the old lady in the grocery store with a little dog in her purse? Or an image of a dragon sleeping atop a mountain? Did that pop into your head? Write it down. Most importantly, write from the overflow of your passions. That will keep you coming back to the keyboard even when the writing gets tough, and it always does. Okay, I hope you're re-inspired and ready to get back to the keyboard. If you found this video helpful, like it, comment on it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. And if you're looking for help in other areas of your writing, check out my blog at jerryjenkins.com/blog. All the best with your writing, and I'll see you next time.